A mother is now officially charged with neglect, resulting in the death of her 3 children in West Allis.
Fox 6 has learned there was a pattern of neglect, and even the woman's own family called authorities to get those kids help. But for some reason, the children were allowed to stay with their mother. Our Tammy Hughes talked to those family members who are outraged.
Yeah, those children were found in their West Allis home last Thursday after it caught fire. What we now know is their own mother left them locked up in a room. And family members told me today they have been trying for years to get these kids some help.
Basically, she locks them with a deadbolt in a room like animals.
It's hard to imagine a mother doing such a thing to her own children, but 24-year-old Angelica Belen is charged with 3 counts of child neglect resulting in death. The bodies of 5-year-old Nayeli and 4-year-old twins Alexis and Adrian were found in an upstairs bedroom. The complaint says their burned bodies were all huddled together under a dresser. Belen is accused of locking them in the room and leaving them for at least 3 hours. She was seen sobbing in court.
She was crying, but she was crying just because she knows she's facing time, not because of the children.
Belen's sister didn't want us to use her name, but says family members have been calling police and Child Protective Services for years.
Diapers being piled up in the corner of the walls, like just dirty house, like ridiculously dirty. The kids hungry.
Belen was just charged in March for child neglect related to 2 other incidents where she left the children alone, once at home and once in a store parking lot. And on March 28th, a non-emergency child in need of protective services was issued. But the children were not taken from the home, and Belen was simply told again not to leave them alone.
There's so many times that CPS was at that house, and so many cars, so many people saw the kids running around everywhere. So many people, knew something was going on. Why didn't the police, why didn't anybody do anything?
Belen's sister says those children were never given a chance at life. And now she can't escape the image of how they died.
How you gonna leave a baby, watching 2 babies? I know, Nayeli, I just can imagine, God, I just can imagine how scared they were.
I just received that petition for services from Children's Court. It shows that social workers and police have been in contact with Belen since December of last year. We know in late March, despite the charges of neglect and conditions of her home, it says the Bureau was not seeking to remove the children from the home because Belen was willing to work with in-home services. It says that despite the fact that she was not giving the children the proper medications they needed for serious conditions like cerebral palsy, autism, and respiratory disorders, and she also continued to leave the children unattended, and the home, it says, was often in disarray. Now, this was just filed in the end of March, and a judge wasn't scheduled to see it until April 30th. Reporting live in the newsroom, Tammy Hughes, Fox 6 News.
Tammy, help us with some clarity here. Were the allegations that Child Protective Services saw it not egregious enough to remove those kids? Was there some optimism that things would improve? Help us understand why they were allowed to stay.
I wish I could, actually. It doesn't say that clearly. That is the question. They clearly had a history of interacting with this mother. She had a history, and it says multiple times she seemed to be making up excuses for why things that they had requested from her weren't being done. Continued to let the children stay there. I cannot answer that.
Tammy Hughes live in the newsroom. Thank you.
A Waukesha man is cited for disorderly